Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Achilles, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit Achilles.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
Hello and welcome. It is the Cam Show on Rogue Media Sports Network, and now I am bigger. Cam Show, Thursday, June the 26th. live on YouTube as we are every weekday, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps this on the air. That was my fault, not Zach Burke's fault that I showed up so small in the beginning. Anyway, we are talking about the Celtics. They made a draft choice last night that nobody has ever heard of, and there's a good reason for that. But we're also looking at what they're doing in this offseason because some people believe that the Celtics don't need to be selling off players. They don't need to get under that second apron, that they're lying to you, the fans, so that you'll be okay with them stripping down a championship team. We'll go over that, debunk that, coming up as well. We'll also talk about who the Bruins should draft at number 7 overall, much more premium pick than the Celtics got. We're going to go over 4 guys. One of them, absolutely 100% yes, you have to take. The other end of the spectrum, absolutely 100% no, don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. We'll look at 4 guys who could be available for the Bruins at number 7. And then we'll talk about the Red Sox, begrudgingly, 5 losses in a row, why they are now sellers at the trade deadline. All that and more coming up on this episode of The Cam Show. But we start where we start. Already, it's been a tumultuous offseason for the Celtics. And I say already, it's been a month and a half of the offseason here, but really it's been the last 3 or 4 days, right? They trade Jrue Holiday, they trade Kristaps Porzingis, and there was all kinds of buzz on Wednesday that they might even trade Jaylen Brown going into draft night. Nothing seems secure with the Boston Celtics right now. But then again, we all saw that coming, right? We knew they were going to need to get under the second apron. We know all the penalties that come with that. We all saw it coming. Well, almost all of us. And I do really commend 98.5, the Sports Hub, for having that special needs program in the afternoon where they bring those kids in and have them have their takes on the air. Because Mike Felger out there saying, and his producer saying, the Celtics aren't doing this because of the penalties. They're doing it because of money, which of course makes a ton of sense, right? Jayson Tatum isn't playing this year because he's hurt. He's not playing this year because he's injured. They don't care about the penalties. They only care about the money. The penalties, of course, being 500 million United States dollars, which as far as I can tell, does equate to a whole fuck ton of money. You idiots. No, they just don't. It's the new owner. He doesn't want to spend the money. $500 million. Look at the NBA. Nobody wants to spend that fucking money. Nobody. And with that humongous price tag that comes with the penalties, you've also got like 8 or 10 that we've already listed a bunch on this show with the traded player exceptions and not being able to do like-for-like trades, not being able, or having to only do like-for-like trades, not being able to take on money in a contract, losing draft picks, freezing draft picks. Yeah, but it's just about the money. It's just about the $500 million of money that they would have to spend. Bunch of pussies. All these other teams in the league will do it. Yeah, just find me one. Find me one. Find me one team that's not going to be a championship contender next year, like the Celtics, that are willing to spend the $500 million and take on those kinds of penalties to go over the second apron. If you just find me one, I'll wait. And if you do find any team in this league that'll do that, it's probably someone like the Oklahoma City Thunder or the New York Knicks, guys who are championship contenders next year. I hate to break this to you people. The Celtics are not championship contenders next year. I know the East is wide open. It's becoming more and more apparent by the day, right? Tyrese Halliburton out for the year. Jayson Tatum out for the year. One of the big reasons why it's wide open. The Knicks, probably the odds-on favorite. They don't even have a coach. So, yeah, there is a ton of room to grow. Look at Orlando's doing it, right? They went out and got Desmond Bane. They spent a whole ton of capital on him, 4 first-round picks, because the East is wide open. But again, one of the reasons why it's wide open is because the Celtics lost a top 5 player in the NBA. Go out and find me another team that loses a top 5 player in the NBA or even loses their best player that is still a championship contender. I don't care how wide open the East is. If you think that this team without Jayson Tatum has a real shot to win the NBA title, and I love Jaylen Brown, but if you think that he's going to lead them to an NBA title sans Jayson Tatum, you should maybe try the 98.5 internship program in the afternoon. I got nothing for you. Like, that is insane. That's so dumb. And he's literally like, take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander off the Thunder, and you think they're competing for championships? Take Nikola Jokic off Denver for a year, and you're like, yeah, they still got a shot to win it. You're out of your fucking mind, man. And then, of course, what that show does all the time is they misequate what we're actually doing by saying, oh, wow, that's actually a solid move by Brad Stevens, trade Jrue Holiday to Portland, a team that shouldn't even want him, and get a good player in his prime years like Anthony Simons. That's a good deal. Saying, man, you made the most of what you got is what a lot of people in the media are now equating to Celtics fans are just loving this deal and loving that they're trading these guys. No, of course we're not loving that, you idiots. But what I said on Tuesday about the the Jrue Holiday trade was that it was such a great haul because everyone in the league knows what you're doing. Everyone in the league knows you don't have a leg to stand on. You need to get rid of that salary. And what you got from Portland is a good player in Anthony Simons, good offensive player, 26 years old. He can slot in as your sixth man, maybe even a starter right now on a decent team that could make the postseason. And best yet, you can flip him at the deadline, get rid of the rest of that salary on an expiring contract, and get real capital for him. But no, that equates to Celtics fans love getting rid of Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know. You can't win. The Celtics are doing what they have to do right now. It sucks, but that's what the NBA is right now. And I think a lot of the media and still, yes, some Celtics fans don't quite understand that we are at the very beginning of this second apron crap. Okay, there's going to be a team or two doing this every year. Every year. Teams that miss out on their championship window entirely. We're going to have to do this all. Indiana's probably going to have to do that next year. They're going to have to clear space. The Knicks are probably going to have to do that next year. They're going to have to clear space because you can't just give max contracts to everybody. You could barely give it to two guys now. You used to be able to give it to three. That's just what the league is right now. And to think that the Celtics are lying to their fans and basically trying to cheap out with a new ownership group is really stupid. And maybe it makes me a green teamer for believing in Brad Stevens, a guy who has really never flunked a trade in his time as the GM. Maybe that makes me insane. Okay, fine. I'm insane. I believe in Brad Stevens. In year one as an executive, they went to the NBA Finals. In year three, they won the whole damn thing with two pretty different teams outside of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So yes, I do believe in that guy. Sorry, my mistake maybe. The Celtics aren't lying to you. They're not doing this just because of the money. The penalties are mostly money. This is not just to save a few bucks like the Red Sox do. They're trying to save $500 million and keep a sustainable team on the floor and keep their draft picks for the next few years. I know, crazy how they're screwing over us fans. And the saddest part is most of us fans know exactly what's happening and understand it. Yes, we're not cheering in the streets that they traded Kristaps Porzingis and Jrue Holiday, but we absolutely understand what they're doing and what this league is. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're coming at you live every weekday on YouTube and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Check out the other videos on the channel too. It was, of course, a momentous night for the Celtics last night in the first round of the NBA draft. They did not trade Jaylen Brown, and instead, they brought the house down with pick number 28. Yes, you know him. I know him. We were all expecting the commissioner to go up to the podium and announce the Boston Celtics draft pick as Hugo Gonzalez. Of course. Yeah, I was really hoping they would get Hugo Gonzalez. Okay? when there's a guy who averaged well over 3 points a game last year in the Spanish league that's available to you at 28, you have to go out and get him. Like, you cannot pass on this. I think I was with a lot of people by saying, huh? Who is this guy? From Real Madrid, great soccer team. Also produced Luka Doncic as well, for whatever that's worth. But I was like, okay, I don't know the latter portion of the first round of the NBA draft too much. I'll just go and check his numbers, see what we're getting out of a 19-year-old from Spain. Yeah, you got 5 points per game, 2.5 fouls per game, half an assist, almost one full assist, and 2.5 rebounds a game for Real Madrid, Spain. And Jonathan Givony, who makes a living covering this stuff, is out there on my TV screen saying, this is the steal of the draft. Really? Says, I love this pick for the Boston Celtics. Told they're keeping it. They're bringing Hugo Gonzalez over right away. They're not doing a draft and stash. He has strong court vision, transition scorer, tremendous athlete. That's what we keep hearing. Tremendous athlete, great motor, defensive skills, good in transition, shifty. And Givony says the Boston Celtics got one of the biggest steals in the draft here, in my view. Okay. If the best thing you can say about a player is that he's got a great motor, because that's what everybody's saying about him, then that's probably not a good starting point. I know he's 19 and he played against adults, right? That's what they do in Europe. They play against grown-ass men. But again, when I'm seeing 5 points a game and I'm hearing great motor, transition guy, can play some defense, I'm thinking we're missing a lot here. Okay? We're clearly missing a lot. Because I look at the defensive stoppers in this league. Like, let's say that's what Hugo Gonzalez is going to be. Okay? Real defensive stalwarts. I think of the guy they just had, Jrue Holiday. 11 points per game this year in a down year for Jrue Holiday, and he shot about 39% from three. Lou Dort, the defensive stopper for the NBA champions in Oklahoma City. He's another guy. High volume scorer, he is not. 10 points per game. Shot 41% from three. Hugo Gonzalez can't hit the broadside of a barn with his jump shot, man. Like, that shit is broken. Absolutely broken. In the Spanish league last year, he shot 27%, which is the lowest of his 4 major professional seasons. 27%. He's getting worse as a shooter. They'll give him a wide open jumper all day long. So you still need to have some offensive skill to play in this league. I know it's crazy, but you do. The Celtics just drafted a guy who has none of it. No offensive skill whatsoever. But damned if he doesn't have a high motor. Okay? A high motor. And yeah, maybe this makes me too much of a green teamer, but I'm going to give Brad Stevens some time on this one. This is the second first-round draft pick he's actually used, and it was last night. Okay? We have no idea what this kid can actually do, except for the fact that he can't really score. And he's a 6'6" guard who can't score, can't create, doesn't wreak a ton of havoc defensively in terms of steals and blocks and things like that, but apparently he's a good defensive player. But what you got was like a half of a one-dimensional player. I would have rather you drafted the Ryan Nembhard kid from Gonzaga. He was on the board. The Pacers, Andrew Nembhard's brother. They do have another pick at 32. Ryan Kalkbrenner is the guy to watch out for. I mean, if you've ever seen another Luke Cornett, here he is. I'm not even saying that as a bad thing. Like, there he is. 7'1" or whatever. Creighton. Played with Baylor Shireman at Creighton. The dude was an All-American. He put up some big numbers with Creighton. I actually saw Ryan Cockbrenner play a lot. He was a lot to handle. I mean, he is what Luke Cornett is. He's not the fleetest of foot, but certainly can hold his own on the defensive end. He's a rim runner guy. I think he had like 40 points in the game this past year. Like, he had a big time game for Creighton. They beat Kansas once. He had a big game there. He's a serviceable center, much like Luke Cornett. And Luke Cornett might be priced out for you as the Celtics here pretty soon. I mean, the rumors are he's a $12 to $14 million a year guy, and he's got to get paid at some point here. Got to get paid. But Hugo Gonzalez, man, catch the fever. Catch it. For a team that shoots more threes than anybody in the history of the NBA to draft a 27% three-point shooter with the 28th pick in the draft, it's not hitting for me. It's not hitting. And I get it. Trust me, I understand. Anything outside of the lottery is a huge flyer. Anything outside of the top 2 or 3 in the NBA draft is pretty much a crapshoot. Okay? But last year at number 30, you picked Baylor Shireman, who had obviously a good college career, someone that we got to watch more because he didn't play for Real Madrid. And I think brings a style that fits your team and has a ton of upside that we can all see. Baylor Shireman, it was scorer, combo guard, shooter, quick decision maker, can be better defensively, wasn't a great defender. Like, those are all good measurable things. Hugo Gonzalez, high motor, baby. Damned if that boy doesn't have a motor. Okay? And did I tell you can get out in transition? Woo! Yeah, give me some of that. Give me some of that. If Hugo Gonzalez plays over J.D. Davison, the G League MVP last year, I think Celtics fans are going to finally have something of a bone to pick with this organization for the first time in a while. That would just be an interesting and bold move. But let me know what you think about Hugo Gonzalez, the future of the Boston Celtics, and what you think about the Celtics offseason so far. Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you still trust in Brad Stevens and the ownership group of this team, the new ownership group of this team. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Catch us live on YouTube every weekday, high noon Eastern time, and wherever you get your podcast. Check out the other videos on the channel. Talking Celtics, reacting to all these trades, everything else going on in Boston sports. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. Celtics do not have a premium draft pick in this year's draft. The Bruins might at number 7 on Friday night. Let's tell you their candidates for who they can take with that premium pick and who the pick should be. Coming up next on The Cam Show.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
InMotion is more than just a name. It's a legacy of innovation. From supplying electric vehicle parts like motors and inverters since the 1960s to creating cutting-edge electric scooters, hoverboards, and unicycles, InMotion is shaping the future of mobility. Whether you're looking for industrial power solutions or accessible personal transport, InMotion has you covered. Explore our products and experience the future of movement. Visit store.inmotionworld.com today.
Is your Mac running slow? Mac Booster 8 is your all-in-one solution to clean up 20 types of junk files, remove malware and viruses, and protect your device. It also optimizes your Mac's hard disk, fixes disk permission issues, and cleans memory, all to boost your Mac's performance to the max. Get your Mac running like new again with Mac Booster 8. Visit macboost.net today.
Finding a sleep sack that my baby likes has been a struggle.
The sleep sack from Joy is a major upgrade.
It's all natural eucalyptus, which is breathable and hypoallergenic, which is really great for your baby's sensitive skin.
And it's made with Climatech, which regulates your baby's temperature.
You can also get Joy's crib sheets, which are made of the same super soft material.
Joy gave my baby comfort
and gave me peace of mind.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey, past, present, and future. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence, elevate creativity, and honor what matters most. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
And now, back to our show.
Back to it. Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeping us on the air as he does 5 days a week. We've talked about the Celtics draft. We've talked about the Celtics offseason. Now let's shift it over to the other team that plays in TD Garden, the Boston Bruins. Huge night for the Bruins coming up Friday night. First round of the NHL draft. They've got pick number 7. They ain't moving that pick. Nobody wants that pick. They ain't moving from it, but they could have a humongous gift dropped right into their lap. Let's talk about who they can take at number 7. Bob McKenzie has put out his final draft rankings here, and Bob McKenzie is the master at this, okay? He's the one that sends out the surveys to all the NHL front offices. Not that they're necessarily giving away state secrets, but he knows better than anybody what these teams are looking for and what players they're looking at. Usually his top 10 or 15 is pretty accurate to what the NHL draft looks like. This is a fascinating draft because it's really 2 players. It's Matthew Schaefer, Michael Misa, and then after that, it's a whole lot of confusion. Guys with injury history, guys slipping, guys rising. It is really, truly crazy after those first 2 picks. I'm going to go over 3 guys that could very well be in the Bruins' lap at number 7. Okay, I'm not going to go over Caleb Desnoyers, who I have done on the show before. Check out that video on the channel talking about how clutch a player he is, because I don't think he's going to be available to them at number 7. I think he's already going to be off the board. The other one I'm not going to go over is Roger McQueen, because I think that would be a catastrophe and possibly cancer-inducing for Bruins fans if Boston actually selects him. He's coming off a major back injury that he tried to play through. The health prognosis is not great. He's a guy who's a top 5 projected player in this draft. He should slip to the middle of the first round. The Bruins should not go after him. So who should they go after? Okay, because available to them at number 7 could well be Jake O'Brien of the Brantford Bulldogs. Now, Bob McKenzie has him going at number 6, so he would be off the table at that point. But all 3 of these guys we're going to look at are all centers because that's the position the Bruins need the most. And it's also the position that gets, picked first, usually in the draft. Obviously, this is going to be a defenseman going number 1 overall in Matthew Schaefer, but most of the rest of the top 10 is going to be centers. Jake O'Brien would be a pretty good pick, man. I mean, good skater, one of the best playmakers, if not the best playmaker in the draft, 66 assists in 66 games last year for Brantford in the OHL. The kid is a stud. He's got the great hockey IQ, all those things that you're looking for in terms of decision-making, creativity, passing. It's a more skilled league than it's ever been, and Jake O'Brien fits that. He truly does. And he's someone who's been between that 5 and 10 range. Again, Bob McKenzie has him at number 6, but 66 assists and for 98 points in 66 games is the kind of creativity that everybody in the league could use, especially the Bruins searching for that 1C, maybe even a 2C. Jake O'Brien is someone who can absolutely bring that. I think he's not as sexy of a pick as some of the other ones look, but certainly if you're talking about a 200-foot game, Jake O'Brien can bring that. He brings a good defensive acumen as well. That kind of goes with the hockey IQ. He's somewhere kind of in the middle in terms of size. He can absolutely fit into an NHL roster in the next year or two and be a top 6 center for a team that really desperately needs one. So if Jake O'Brien is the pick, I'm quite okay with that, with Jake O'Brien being the pick at number 7 to the Boston Bruins. We'll see if he's available. Because again, Bob McKenzie has him at number 6, which means he's going to Philadelphia. Okay, Caleb Desnoyers, a guy I really love, going to Nashville at number 5. So I hate to see both those guys off the board when it comes to the Bruins. But if that is the case, and both those guys are off the board, there's a good chance you've still got one of the very best players in the draft available at number 7. Okay? Because if Caleb Demboye and Jake O'Brien are off the board at number 6, that means the Bruins could have one of the best players in the draft falling right into their lap at number 7. That player is, of course, James Higgins of Boston College. If the Bruins have the opportunity to pick this kid, you just thank your lucky stars, thank everyone in the room, and sprint to the podium to draft him. I still don't really know why Higgins is slipping so far in this draft. Okay, Mackenzie has him at number 7, which would mean, of course, going right to the Bruins. But there are some mock drafts that have him down in the below 10, in the teens even. That absolutely should not be the place where he's going. The kid was the number 1 prospect in the draft going into this season, and he was a point-a-game player in Hockey East in the NCAA. I don't really understand why he's dropping so much. I do understand that he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's 5'11". He's slight. He's not quite 180. All right. I get it. He's slight. And there are some concerns about him maybe taking some games off where he looks invisible. But again, 37 points in 37 games for an 18-year-old who busted out at the World Juniors as well with 9 goals in 7 games. That still sounds like a top prospect to me. And I like the Jake O'Brien kid from Brantford. I'm picking James Higgins over him, and I think it's a coin flip whether I'm taking James Higgins over Caleb Demboye, who's projected to go 2 spots ahead of him. It would be an absolute gift, Christmas in late June, if James Higgins drops to the Boston Bruins at number 7. He still has the potential to be the franchise center that everybody thought he was going to be going into this season. And yeah, maybe he has to play on the wing. Okay. He's still got one of the best hockey IQs in the draft. He's one of the best skaters in the draft. He's got a deceptively good snapshot. I think he brings all the things that you want for a center for the Bruins. The game is getting more and more skilled by the year, and the Bruins can't keep up. James Higgins has you keeping up, okay? The kid's skill is off the charts. And I always say, honestly, with any draft, not just hockey, but beware those kids who were big-time prospects, like supposed to be the number 1 pick before the season, that inexplicably drop. He doesn't have a major injury. He's not 21. He's about to turn 19. Okay, he's going to have another year in the NCAA. He's going to be one of the best players in college hockey next year. Like, he's going to be a Hobie Baker finalist. I truly believe that. I think his game is going to grow even more. And if the Bruins pick him at 7, there are going to be 6 other fan bases watching college hockey next year saying, what the hell? Why didn't we get this guy? Right? When Caleb Demboye and Jake O'Brien have some growing pains, which all of these prospects will have, there will be fans in Nashville and Philadelphia thinking, shit, man, look at this kid at BC. Look at him playing in the Frozen Four, scoring big goals, dominating the World Juniors again. We let the Bruins get this guy? They fucked their own plan up. They're supposed to be picking 4th. They forced the last game of the season into overtime and have to drop to 7. They got screwed. How do they get James Higgins? That's what I hope these other fan bases are bitching about next season. Don't overthink it with this kid. James Higgins is the pick if he's available at number 7. No ifs, ands, or buts. And not only do you get a really great prospect out of this, but you also get a hype train out of this. Bruins fans will watch BC hockey next year. Hockey East on Nesson, Beanpot, Hockey East Championships, NCAA Tournament, ESPN, World Junior Championships. They'll watch all of that. They'll be watching James Higgins every weekend. And they'll have this idea that a savior is coming. And maybe he's not a full savior of the team, but you need a top 2 center. This kid brings that, and you'll actually get some real hope from your fan base again, watching this kid play at BC all season. I'll say it again. Do not overthink this. If James Higgins is there at 7, that is one of the best gifts you've gotten in the draft in a long time. Take him, take him, take him. The guy that I am petrified the Bruins will take at number 7 is another center. The guy I am scared to death the Bruins will take at 7 if he's available is Brady Martin of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. I think this would be a massive mistake. But in the short term, Bruins fans would absolutely love it. So he plays for the Sioux Greyhounds. Brady Martin. Brady Martin is one of the fastest risers of the draft scene this year. He's a guy who was projected to be a middle to late first round pick who's now all of a sudden getting some real top 10 buzz. And the reason why is because he's the best physical player in this draft. He is a rock'em sock'em robots kind of forward. Okay. He is probably the best hitter in the 2025 draft. And since everything got so muddy outside of the top 2 picks, all of a sudden Brady Martin, kind of flying off the tape because of how physical he is, teams are now pretty interested in this kid. The Bruins took him out to dinner at the NHL scouting combine. They took him out to dinner. They wined and dined him at the combine. They might love this kid. Bob McKenzie has him going number 8, by the way, the pick right behind the Bruins because he has James Higgins going to the Bruins. This would be a mistake if they draft Brady Martin, I think. I think everybody is just going goo goo gaga over this kid. All the scouts are drooling over this kid because he can check you out of the gym. They are absolutely drooling over him because he's a very physical player. And they projected to be a power forward, which is what everybody wants in this league. There's just one issue. He doesn't have the skill to be a power forward. When you're talking about NHL prospects and guys who are going to stick around in the NHL and make money in the NHL, they need to have an elite trait. Shot, skating, playmaking. And on a very, very, very rare occurrence, you can be just a good physical guy. But those guys are grinders. They're playing on the 4th line. They're on a new team every other year. That's what Brady Martin is. And he fits everything that Cam Neely and Don Sweeney wants. And it fits the exact ideology that has the Bruins picking at number 7 in the NHL draft in the first place. This league is getting faster. It's getting more skilled. And yet the Bruins front office with Cam Neely and Don Sweeney are trying to make their team bigger, slower, and stronger. They are zagging when the rest of the league and the Stanley Cup champions and contenders are zigging. Okay, they're going in the wrong direction. And if they draft Brady Martin with a top 10 pick, that would once again solidify that they are moving in the wrong direction. They want this kid because he's a fucking caveman. Oh, Brady Martin, do big hit. Can't skate, can't shoot, can't deke, but he can hit. It's Don Sweeney and Cam Neely's wet dream to draft this kid at number 7. And if they pick him over James Higgins, that would be a catastrophic mistake. When you look at all the scouting reports, all they can talk about is his physicality. Oh, he's ready to be NHL physical right now. Great. Who cares, man? I don't care that most of the Bruins roster can hit. They can't skate. They can't score. They can't play hockey. So I don't want Brady Martin. I don't. I think that would be a mistake. I think it would just be playing into all the crap that the Bruins have been trying to do the last couple of years that does not work. They're trying to get bigger, stronger, slower when the rest of the league is going the other direction to great success. Okay? Like the Florida Panthers are physical, but they can also outskate you. And they pressure the crap out of you. And they've got guys with a ton of skill. Okay? I don't know if you need to know this, but Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart, Sasha Barkov, Sam Bennett. Those guys have a ton of skill. They don't just hit. If the Bruins go after Brady Martin, it would be no better than getting John Beecher or Justin Brazeau. No better than those guys. You would be using a top 10 pick on a bottom 6, potential bottom 3 forward. It wouldn't make any sense. Any sense. This team needs skill. It needs speed. It does not need more of whatever the fuck Brady Martin brings that has been bringing you down to the point where you're picking in the top 10 of the NHL draft for the first time in a decade and a half. Say no to Brady Martin. We don't need him. Last time you picked a guy from the Sioux in the top 10, he ended up in the Hall of Fame, but not because of you guys. It's Joe Thornton, by the way. Don't do it. Please don't do it. James Higgins. I'd take Jake O'Brien. I would take Caleb Desnoyers, and I don't know, man. Maybe even take the flyer on Roger McQueen over Brady Martin, because at least we know Roger McQueen has some talent. You just need to make sure he's healthy. Brady Martin, we don't know if he has the talent, the high-end talent to play in this league. That should not be a question that we are asking for the number 7 pick in the draft. So who is it? Who do the Bruins pick? Let me know in the comments section below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because we're coming at you every weekday live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. So check out the other videos on the channel talking about this pick, the Bruins, and so much more going on in the world of Boston sports. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air 5 days a week. Switching gears. Let's talk about a team who's going to be picking in the top 10, maybe quite a bit over the next few years. The Red Sox. Are they sellers, or are we saying not so fast? They can turn this around. Let's talk about it next on The Cam Show.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion-resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
And now, back to our show.
Back here on the Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Stewart, Zach Burke, keeping us on the air live on YouTube, as we are 5 days a week, and then available wherever you get your podcasts as well. We've talked about the Celtics, that wild offseason that gets more and more wild, the huge pick of Hugo Gonzalez, man. Woo! Boy, do we love to see that. Plus, who are the Bruins going to draft tomorrow? Please not Brady Martin. Please, yes, James Higgins. What a huge day for the franchise that could be if James Higgins is actually available to them at number 7. So that leaves us with, how about those Red Sox, baby? How about those Red Sox? Swept by the Angels. The failed follow-up to touched by an Angel. Swept by the Angels. 5 losses in a row. Wham, bam, you are all of a sudden out of the picture again a week later. Okay? Because it looked like you had a nice dead cat bounce after the Rafael Devers trade. You won your 4th series in a row. Bam. You're in this thing. They were what, a 2.5 out of the division? Now they are certainly not. They're 7 games behind the Yankees in the division. They were half game out of the wild card in the middle of this week. They are further behind that now. They're 2.5 out. They would need to leapfrog 3 teams to get there. Season's still young. Okay, it's halfway over. But it's becoming more and more apparent that the Red Sox are who we thought they were a few weeks ago, and that they are sellers at this trade deadline. I mean, who could have thunk it? Who can believe that the Red Sox would enter free fall after trading their best player in the middle of the season for no reason? I mean, can you believe that? It's almost like trading a guy with a 900 OPS who's on pace to hit 35 homers. Doesn't help the lineup. Doesn't help the team. Couldn't have seen that one coming. I mean, that is a total shock to all of us, right? And they're just pissing games away. Walker Buehler looks like a skinny Shane Gillis. Can't pitch. What an awful, awful free agent signing that was. Cora gets thrown out of every game. Duran making stupid decisions and getting thrown out of the game and bitching about it. It's just the same crap, man. They can't play defense. They can't run the bases. Their bullpen is very hit or miss. And they don't really have the makings of a major league lineup most of these days. And so now they get faced with this once again. They're going to be sellers at the trade deadline. This was a very promising season that has gone way up in smoke. I said even last week, I think they could still make the playoffs. I had some belief in this team. I think they still do have some flexibility to make a big move at the trade deadline, but I think it's too late. You're going to be close to a last place team at the trade deadline, man. Baltimore sucks. So you're probably not quite that bad, but you're not that much better off, man. You're really not. And the way that they're playing right now, which again is indicative of how they played most of the season, they won those 4 straight series and it looked like they had turned things around. Most of the season, they were a sub 500 baseball team, which is what they are right now at 40-42. Like with that, they're not better than Toronto, who they're 3.5 games behind. They're not better than Tampa, who they're way behind. They're barely better than Baltimore. That's what they're going to be. They're going to be sellers. And according to ESPN, they have literally the 2 biggest trade pieces to get rid of at the trade deadline. Number 2, Jarren Duran, 25%. I still think trading Duran's the right move. And the more you wait on it, the less you're going to get in return. And number 1 on their list is Alex Bregman. Because why not? I know the Red Sox have said in the last few days that they're willing to renegotiate a long-term deal, or Bregman said he's willing to do that. I would love to keep Bregman. I want to keep Bregman. Don't get this twisted. That said, he's a guy with an opt-out after this year. There's no guarantee that the Red Sox can be able to keep him. And he did have a good market in this offseason. It took a long time, but that's what everybody does now. Best fits, Cubs, Tigers, the other 2 teams that were in on him in this offseason, Yankees and Mets. So there is absolutely a market for the guy. And I think there's going to be, I think you can get good returns on someone like Duran, obviously, or Aroldis Chapman, who's number 18, on the list. I think you would get a heck of a return for Chapman for a half a season guy who is having a great year as your closer. It's tough to do that. To have a great year as a closer for a team that's this bad. Walker Buehler, take anything you can get for him. Anything, really. I mean, a new Gatorade cooler, maybe. I would take that for Walker Buehler. And then those are 4 guys in the top 30 of ESPN's list that could be traded and probably should be traded for the Red Sox at this trade deadline. Everyone except Bregman, I think I would have no problem seeing them go where the Red Sox are at right now. But then again, you do have the opportunity to make a big-time move in your favor at the trade deadline. That's not saying, oh, so glad they did the Rafi Devers trade and now everything aligns. We have a good alignment. I'm sick of hearing that shit. But just by the bare bones, by the numbers, you do have the flexibility to do something big. And what I mean by that is you've got money you can take on. And you've still got some cost-controlled guys that you can throw in a major deal. You know, I don't want to throw in William Abreu for a reliever, right? But William Abreu with Jaron Duran and Tanner Houck and Walker Buehler, maybe that gets you a big name player. Maybe it does. But right now, the Red Sox are an abject failure. Again, you know, we took a week off from being a total failure, and it's going to go down. Like, this season is going to go down the drain because of the Rafi Devers trade. I know they weren't a great team before it, and they were underachieving before that trade, but A, he was your best player, and B, you were finally starting to turn it around. You had just taken 3 series in a row. You just swept the Yankees at home. The ballpark was alive and buzzing. It's the first time the Yankees have been swept all year. And then you do this because the Red Sox cannot get out of their own fucking way. For the first time in years, they have a team that people are legitimately excited about. The city was really excited about going into this season. And as I've said plenty of times before on this program, you had a perfect golden opportunity. The Patriots are awful. The Bruins really suck. The Celtics are in a mini rebuild because they don't have Jayson Tatum next year, and they had a short playoff run this year. You had the opportunity to really take this city by the balls again. And instead, you did a salary dump for your best player because that's the Boston Red Sox way, baby. That is what this team represents now. That's just the way we do business, damn it. We like having our fans shell out the most money for tickets in Major League Baseball, sell you on this great experience of a ballpark and the beer and the hot dogs, and then give you 2 of these. Go fuck yourself, Red Sox fans. Oh, you think you've got a good team? Ha! Wait till you hear how we're going to spin this one. They finally got some momentum in this season in June. In June, mid-June, they finally got some momentum. And then they just punted the season. Like, is there any bigger FU to a fan than that? Than to make some moves in the offseason to get people really excited about this team and have a roster that should make for a playoff team? And then when you finally get something going, you say, actually, you know what? We'd rather save the money. We'd rather not be good. We like the alignment that we have now. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? The Red Sox I grew up with and the Red Sox fans I know now, we like winning. World Series, divisions, playoff baseball. We like that. The Red Sox like alignment and flexibility and fatter pockets. Great. You saved a ton of money. You traded the best player on your team in his prime. But damned if you didn't save some fucking money. Damned if you're not so goddamn aligned, it'll make your head spin. Most aligned team in Major League Baseball. Congrats. You suck again. And they're not going to put up with this shit any longer. The ballpark's going to be half empty. What the fuck are we spending our money to go there for? It's a joke. It's an absolute joke of a franchise, not just a team, a franchise. Ownership, GM, manager, ball players. Joke. Joke. And they have the balls to raise the prices to go to the games. Just what an unbelievable, unmitigated disaster. It's a disaster. It's a catastrophe. It's embarrassing. But one thing you can't say is that it's not aligned. Alignment coming out the ass at Fenway Park. Let me know what you think about alignment in the comment section below. Like and subscribe to this video if you just love the alignment the Red Sox have. 95% of you watching are not subscribed to the channel. Why not? We're bringing you Boston sports content like this 5 days a week, live on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. So give us a like, give us a subscribe. Check out the other videos on the channel talking Red Sox and everything else Boston sports. And I guess we'll see you tomorrow on a little ditty that we like to call The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. We understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit TwoSains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.